Hi again, Adrian Manyathelo here. Today I just wanted to talk about a great topic here, and the topic is 90% of this, 90% of your success depends on this. Okay, yesterday I was teaching you about a concept, uh, really using a lifetime story that really took place in my life. And right now I just want to, for those of you that may have missed it, I just want to relate to it. And as I'm speaking this lifetime story, there's one thing I want to pick out of it, and you just wonder if you had picked it up. I'm going to check you at the end to see if you have picked it up, right? So now I am in college, right, and I'm struggling, right, to to get anything working. I'm really struggling in a subject called technical drawing. By the way, technical drawing is that subject where you draw things, basically, right? For example, before they do a TV, right? They draw it down, they draw the picture down first, right? And then from that picture, the guy who actually makes television takes that picture, right, and comes out with the television that we see today, right? Even houses, even anything, any physical thing that you see in this world, right, is made out. It's actually goes through a process. Well, the art's called technical drawing, right? So I was struggling with this subject mainly because maybe because I couldn't think properly. I couldn't think like three-dimensional for some reason. So I struggled with it for a long time, and the teacher tried whatever they could to help me. It wasn't working, right? Until at this particular day, I remember I just got into the library, right? And before I said that, let me emphasize that in life the reason why you are struggling, right, is because you're actually trying to do something. So sometimes don't get too worried when you're struggling. But one thing happens, right, when you struggle and you keep on fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, what happens is that suddenly, right, there's a breakthrough. You suddenly get answers. Okay, very, very true stuff, right? So when you're struggling, don't worry. So I walk into the library, right, and I find this book, and I just open in the middle of the book and I find this sentence that says, you see, if you want to succeed on something that is very, very difficult, what you need to do, you need to imagine yourself succeeding in that thing. Okay? So when I saw that line, I said, wow, here lies the answer to my problem, which was to pass technical drawing or to do very well. Because really I was struggling in this subject. Honestly, I couldn't get any more than 30% in that subject. So I was really, really struggling. So once I got that, then I decided, wow, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this principle. So I began to imagine myself, right, succeeding in technical drawing. Today I'm going to do it more than I did yesterday or any other time that I've ever told this story, right? So basically what I was doing there, I was literally imagining myself in the class, in the final day, on the exam day. I could literally see myself picking up that pencil, drafting, doing the draft. Like when you write exams, right? You got to do that plan, the little thing that you do at the top. You plan your answers out. So I could see myself planning out the answers and reading out the question, then planning out the answers, putting all the details that I need, right? And I could imagine myself remembering all the information that I need in that particular to be able to pass that subject, right? And I did this, like, I don't know, maybe almost every time I pick my books, almost every time when I woke up, almost every time when I go to bed, and almost every time when I remembered, right? That's how what I did it, and that's what I did. So when I kept on doing that and doing that and doing that, what actually happened was that two things, strange things happened. Number one is that when I checked my test results, I mean the tests that you do within the school, the internal tests or exams, right? I was still not doing very well. I was doing quite bad, right? But on the final day when we were writing the exams, right? So let me go back a little bit. Before we got into the exam, right? I just went to see my teacher, like you would go to see your teacher anytime, right? I went to see my teacher, and then my teacher looked at me and said, "No, there's no hope in you." I told him, I'm going to surprise you. There is hope. Because I was trusting on the process. I was just trusting on the thing that I've been doing, right? And I didn't want to doubt that it won't work. So I was really holding on this thing. I hope this thing works at least on the final day. So all the internal exams, I wasn't doing very well. I was just still struggling like nobody's business. Now come the exam time, right? The exam to me was quite normal, right? But for the rest of the people, it was extremely hard. The reason why it was normal to me because it was the same thing, it was the same hard stuff, right? So I couldn't tell whether it's extremely hard, or harder than normal, or which is just normal. So it was hard. But I did what I'd been practicing in my visualization, if you like, in my imagination. So I did everything. I planned the thing out. I put in as many answers as I could. And by the way, I'd worked hard. I was just one of those guys that really worked hard, right? So now, lo and behold, when the exams came out, right, only 3 people passed us the exam, right? And guess what? I was one of those 3. Right? I was literally shocked by the thing. I said, wow, this thing works, man. And this is the most exciting part now. So now I decide to walk and go to see my teacher, right? So I go to see him just to celebrate the moment, what has happened. So when he sees me, the guy literally burst out crying. I was wondering, why is this guy crying? But then I realized it's really not out of jealous or anything like that. It was really out of overwhelm, right? He didn't even notice he didn't even say a word to me, right? And this is, guys, what happens, right, when you do certain strategies. So today we are talking about 90% of this will, is responsible for your success, right? Now, what is this? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hand you over to my business partner, and this is a link, guys. So if you are on Facebook live right now, if you need that link, send me a message now and I'll be able to give you that information. And anybody else, if there's a link there, go ahead, click on that link, and my business partner will continue speaking to you. And thank you so much for listening to me today, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.